Star Wars fans, since we're just sitting here waiting for the Andor show to come out August 31st, I thought this would be the perfect time to rank all of the Star Wars shows in order from worst to best. What's up, guys? Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars here. Today we're ranking the 9, yes, that is correct, 9 Star Wars shows that there are in order from worst to best. When I say 9, I am including the Clone Wars Season 7 is separate from the Clone Wars. I am saying that Mando Season 1 is separate from Mando Season 2. And I'm saying that Visions and Rebels and The Bad Batch are included in this list. So the 9 shows I'm about to rank in a second are The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, The Book of Boba Fett, The Clone Wars Season 7, The Obi-Wan Kenobi Show, Star Wars Visions, The Bad Batch. So you might have a different list than me, and that's okay. Tell me in the comments below and scratch the part before that. It's not okay. My list is the only one that's correct, and nobody else is right. Of course, of course. You know. I am just kidding. Everything you've just heard is incorrect. These are not the droids you're looking for. Alright, starting off with number 9. At number 9, we have Star Wars Visions. Now, I put this at number 9, and a lot of people will be like, what about that first episode with Ronan? It was awesome. Yes, that was awesome. But do you forget that the second episode was Tatooine Rhapsody? Probably one of the worst Star Wars things I've ever had to lay my eyes on. The Visions just goes way too far this way and that way. Way too far good and bad. It just goes way too far in every direction. And that's why it sits at number 9, because it can't be anywhere close to the top, because it's just way too far in each direction. At number 8, I have The Bad Batch. Now, The Bad Batch is getting a Season 2, and I can't wait for the Season 2, and I think it's going to be a lot better than Season 1. But The Bad Batch were introduced in the Clone Wars Season 7, and they were awesome. Then they got their own show, and I was really excited for it, and the first episode was epic. It was like an hour and a half long, and then we got 16 more episodes. And I was sitting here like, so they're going to go on another mission this week. That means absolutely nothing. And why is this show a thing? This show was a huge disappointment. I thought it was going to be a lot like the Clone Wars Season 7, which was awesome, and all the other Clone Wars stuff, and even Rebels that came right before it, but no, it was not nearly as good. It wasn't bad. I won't say it was bad, but it was very filler. Majority filler. At number 7, I have the Clone Wars Season 7. Now, you might be thinking, he's just picking on all of the animated stuff. I am not. I am a huge Star Wars animated fan. Wait till you see where I put Rebels. But this is at number 7 for a reason. This is the 7th best Star Wars show because of the first few episodes. I won't argue with you when you tell me that the Siege of Mandalore is one of the coolest arcs in Star Wars. Ahsoka and Bo-Katan sieging Mandalore from Darth Maul is one of the coolest things ever. The whole Order 66 stuff from Ahsoka's point of view was awesome. But the whole first half of that season was filler and a waste of my time. So I just can't put it any higher than 7. Because although that awesome fight between Ahsoka and Maul was epic, it just didn't stay that way through the whole entire season. And again, it's only one season. At number 6, and might anger a lot of you, I have the Book of Boba Fett. Now, why is the Book of Boba Fett at number 6? This is a great question because it has a reason to be there. If you watch the first 4 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, you will come back and watch this video and type in the comment section, I am so sorry that I ever doubted you, because you are 100% correct. But then when you watch episode 5 and 6, you're like, you're wrong. The Mandalorian shows up, saves the day. Episode 6, you have Luke Skywalker training Grogu. Literally, probably my favorite episode of any Star Wars thing ever. So if my favorite episode of any Star Wars thing ever is in the season of the Book of Boba Fett, how can it not be at least in my top 5? Great question. Because there are 6 other episodes that are not nearly as good. Boba Fett, the most badass bounty hunter in the galaxy, gets nerfed down to a loser. Even when he showed up in The Mandalorian Season 2, he was epic, literally smashing stormtroopers' helmets off. Amazing. So when you heard the Book of Boba Fett was coming, you did not think that he was just going to turn into this lame hermit on Tatooine. A lame hermit that comes from Tatooine. Sound familiar? Oh, I didn't mean Obi-Wan Kenobi. I meant Luke Skywalker in the sequels. Seems like there's 3 of them now. When George said that it was like poetry, it rhymes, you don't make the most badass bounty hunter in the entire galaxy just a hermit on Tatooine. And that's why it sits at number 6. And now we are in the top 5. At number 5, I have The Clone Wars. Yes, The Clone Wars. All 6 seasons of The Clone Wars sits at number 5. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just put The Bad Batch and The Clone Wars Season 7 all the way down at the bottom of the list because they were all filler? And isn't The Clone Wars 6 seasons with a lot of filler stuff? Yes. But it's 6 seasons, and it has the Mortis arc, and it has some incredible episodes, and even Season 6 is all about Yoda learning to become a Force Ghost. Some legendary stuff in the Clone Wars, and it's 6 seasons. The Bad Batch is only 1 season. The Clone Wars Season 7, only 1 season. So having filler episodes in only 1 season of a show is gonna make the show a lot worse. But when you have 6 seasons of a show with amazing arcs like the Mortis arc, you're gonna get into the top 5. I can't say enough great things about the Clone Wars. It introduces Ahsoka Tano, who is one of my favorite characters ever. It brings back Darth Maul, again, one of my most favorite characters ever. And Ahsoka Tano leaving the Jedi Order, again, builds upon the fall of Anakin Skywalker. What we've all been here for the last 42 years is the tragedy of Darth Vader, the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, and all 6 seasons of the Clone Wars just add on to that tragedy oh so much. And that's why it starts off my top 5 of the best Star Wars shows. At number 4, I have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Now I know that you're counting with me on these 9 shows and you're like, what are those 3 ahead of it? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But the Obi-Wan Kenobi show sits at number 4 for a good reason. That rematch of the century was awesome. Awesome. But there was so much filler stuff in this. All of the Reva character was not needed. All of the Inquisitors were not needed. This was an Obi-Wan Kenobi show and it should have been all about Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and it wasn't. But when you got to the rematch of the century in the finale, it was epic. When you got a Palpatine hologram in the finale, it was epic. When you got Qui-Gon Jinn as a Force Ghost, it was epic. So that's why it sits at number 4 on this list, because again, it was epic. At number 3, you have The Mandalorian Season 1. Now, The Mandalorian Season 1 always goes underrated. It is what started this whole Mando timeline. It started the Book of Boba Fett. It started The Mandalorian Season 2, the Ahsoka show, The Mandalorian Season 3. All that stuff is because of The Mandalorian Season 1. But that doesn't mean that it is immediately the top 1 just because it started all of this. It has to be a good show. And it was. It introduced us to Din Djarin, who is a lot of people's favorite character. And of course, it introduced us to Grogu. Baby Yoda himself, also known as Grogu, because that's his real name, so never call him Baby Yoda again. I apologize for even saying it in the first place. But it introduces us to that character, and he is, of course, loved by all. At number 2, and I know you're going to be mad at me, is Star Wars Rebels. This is the most underrated show I've ever seen in my entire existence. This show is spectacular. At only 4 seasons, it cuts filler to a minimum. It has Darth Maul in it, Kanan Jarrus, Ezra Bridger. The show had Vader, it had Palpatine, it had the Inquisitors, it had Yoda, it had everything you want in a Star Wars show, and so much more. It had Ahsoka Tano as Fulcrum, and she fought against her old master, and now Darth Vader cutting his mask off. Yes, before the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, they stole that from Star Wars Rebels. You had Darth Maul bringing the main character Ezra Bridger towards the dark side to open a Sith holocron. I mean, are you kidding me? You had Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yes, the Grand Admiral Thrawn that was mentioned by Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2, and now will be looked for in the Ahsoka show. That Grand Admiral Thrawn, he is off in the galaxy with Ezra Bridger, has been missing for decades. All of the Mandalorian timeline with Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Ezra Bridger, it's all been set up by Star Wars Rebels. Whew, don't even get me started on how underrated Rebels is, because I could go on for hours. So we're going to keep going. And if you've been following along, you know that number 1 is The Mandalorian Season 2, and this goes without saying because by far this is the greatest season of any show I've ever seen. even including other shows that aren't Star Wars, this is the best singular season of any show I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I've seen some pretty good shows. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking like Stranger Things, Breaking Bad, Prison Break. I've seen some pretty good shows in my day. But this one season of this particular show is the best season of any show ever. All the amazing things from season 1 of The Mandalorian with Moff Gideon and Din Djarin and Grogu, and you add in Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, Luke freaking Skywalker, and that's exactly how I feel about The Mandalorian Season 2. I am incapable of conjuring up words because it was so amazing. The season literally starts with him going back to Tatooine to find a Mandalorian where Cobb Vanth is wearing Boba Fett's armor, and they fight a krayt dragon and kill it. And then we go and find Bo-Katan. And then we go and find Ahsoka Tano. And then we go to Tython, and Boba Fett comes flying in the Slave One and gets his armor back, and the Razor Crest gets blown up, and then we get rescued by Luke freaking Skywalker. Doesn't get much better than that. Now, we haven't seen Andor. We haven't seen The Mandalorian Season 3. We haven't seen The Ahsoka Show. We haven't seen Skeleton Crew or Acolyte or The Lando Show or all these new shows that are coming out, and I hope that each and every one of them beats The Mandalorian Season 2. But right now, that seems like an impossible task because that season was flawless, great, amazing, spectacular. Whatever great word you want to use, that is what that season was. So that's my list. Tell me in the comments below if you think I'm completely wrong and your list is completely different. Tell me what your list is in the comments below so we can argue all day about this. Because like I said at the beginning, my list is 100% complete fact and there's no debating it, so there is no use in trying. I'm just kidding. Please tell me in the comments below what you think is wrong with my list so I can argue with you. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. The Andor show is August 31st, so we'll be breaking down the episodes, we'll be doing all this fun stuff, looking for Easter eggs, all that fun stuff when that show comes out. But for now, we're doing fun stuff like this. We're ranking the top Star Wars shows. Next, we'll probably even do the movies if you guys want. Tell me in the comments below, do you want me to rank the Star Wars movies? Because I think I could do it without getting too many people upset with me. And if you want to talk Star Wars with some Star Wars nerdy people, there is a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. And may the Force be with you. Always.